The Math of Peasant Productions presents The Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, video 3 of the male versus female BS here. Okay, like I said, I'm not gay, I like women, they're quite a bit of fun. I do recognize the difference between male energy, female energy, homosexual energy, bisexual energy. Okay, I see energy, I understand this is all there. It's not an issue. Moreover, I am an artist. At a very early age, I was indoctrinated in the idea that only faggots had money for art. At 20 years of age, I went to work in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. I realized what a crock of shit that whole story was. But I also understood at that point in time that gay people were around. There was an awful lot in the art world, just as there's an awful lot in the rest of the world. And because I had been brought up abused, best point I can put it together, 8 years of age, moved to a place called Glendale, California. The kids in the schools informed me, not the parents, the kids in the schools informed me that because I was not born in Glendale, I could never have a girlfriend from Glendale. At 19 years of age, I long since graduated out of high school, and I was given my original birth certificate, and lo and behold, right there on the birth certificate, born in Glendale Hospital, 1958. Quite amusing to me. The only girlfriend I had in Glendale was one girl who jumped in my lap, told me that because I had a job, I was to take her to the senior prom. She played kissy face with me for a couple of days, at which point she realized that I was quite specific, that no, I have a job, I'm working on my car, to fix my car, because after I graduate from high school, I'm going to take off on a nice long road trip and go see the world, or at least the USA. A day or so later, she hopped out of my lap, telling me she couldn't love me anymore, and I believe it was about 2 days after that, she walked up and introduced me to her new boyfriend, who is going to take me to the senior prom. Huh. Yes, okay. The only girlfriend I had in Glendale, okay, that was actually a Glendale woman. Okay, very arrogant society. So yeah, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old and the gays started making passes at me, actually they started making passes before that. When the gays started making passes at me, because I wasn't allowed to be near a woman by prejudiced women, as well as prejudiced men and prejudiced children, I had to ask myself, am I gay and I don't know it? I know I like women and I'm not at all turned on by men. But yeah, that was an interesting issue. Women were actually prejudiced against me because of where, white boy in a white town, but I wasn't born in that town, so I couldn't have a girlfriend. And they never rescinded that. Anyway. Oh, yes. By the way, women run around saying, oh, we're persecuted, we're persecuted. Where do they learn that? From the Christians. Where do the Christians learn it? From somebody before that, okay? On down the line, back through the Samaritans, and you name it, all the way, as far back as you want to go. The Romans did a very good job of stealing from other nations. Other nations, the easy way to put it, from other environments around them to create their controlled world. Okay, divide and conquer is a very, very active thing even to this day. By running around screaming that women's rights can only be protected by women, you immediately divide a section off. You have this section fighting that section. Okay. I had a woman in one of the chat things on the internet say, all men are only one flavor and they're all assholes. And any man that talks about women's rights is just a grabby sexist. Excuse me? That's as prejudiced a statement as Donald Trump getting up there and saying that women are just for grabbing. There ain't nothing good about a woman unless she's good in bed. Wow. Okay. So women are literally as bad as men on that. They're literally as prejudiced as that. And they too will use divide and conquer, not because they're conquering anything, but because they continue the fight. Who hasn't heard of women being catty, being gossipy? Men have their gossip, women have their gossip. No big deal to me, but no woman is more logical. Okay. Now, like I said in the previous video, I grew up. At 8 years of age, I got thrown in the kitchen. My quasi-dad told me, "This is a TV dinner. This is this style, that's that. This is this style, that's that. You set this. Dinner's on the table at 5 o'clock. When I walk in the door, or I'll beat your butt." The next day, I got my butt beat because dinner wasn't on the table. I couldn't remember which number was which dial. I got my butt beat over the next, 10 years a couple of times. But most of the time I had dinner on the table at 5 o'clock on the nose every fucking day. So I got called a faggot because I cook. I got called a faggot because I also had to do the laundry or I got beat up. I got called a faggot because I learned how to sew. Because I had to sew buttons on and sew up holes and fix things. By women. Not by men. By women. Instead of accepting that I was going to make my future girlfriends and wife and female partners' lives easier because I could handle anything coming down the line. No. Women assaulted me for taking over part of their jobs. I actually had one quasi-stepmother get very, very upset and in my face about the fact that I walked in and wanted, because she had just married this quasi-dad of mine, that, hey, I've been making dinner for these guys for, quite a few years now. Can I come in and help you? And hell no, little boy, get the fuck out of my kitchen. Oh, okay, yeah. No equality. No treating me like a decent person even. Just very rude. So yes, women are not at all polite. Think about how many times you've heard the comment, "Do that because I'm your mom and I say so." How many times have you heard the comment, "Mom knows best. Dad doesn't know anything. You go ask Mom." Dad, go ask your mother. Man, I ain't stepping in that. Okay? So an awful lot of stuff is thrown to women to make the decisions. Behind every good man is a better woman. Excuse me? No woman stands behind me. No woman stands with me. No woman has been there for me. No woman wants to put up with the shit I have to put up with, having a busted up arm and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. For 13 years, I've had to deal with physical pain that I'm not allowed to try and really do anything about, other than the fact that I know natural medicines and I know how to take care and heal the body. I cannot fix this because it's physical evidence to use in a court of law of my choice against the United States for torture charges. Okay? But no woman has ever had the gumption, the balls, the gonad, the titties, whatever you want to call it, ladies, the ovaries, to stand up against abuse to me or my son. Okay? So women are not better. And men aren't better either. There might be a good man, there might be a good woman, there might be a good kid, there might be a good faggot. But as a lump sum, you humans are all the same freaking thing. You're all 98% water, so a woman with a womb full of water for birthing a kid, no big deal. If you want to go preaching off of a desert or arid area, then yes, water is life and all of that. But you go into the Amazon, you go into the islands, you go into the Arctic, none of those places worshipped water. None of them. None of them equated water to the mother of life. It was the cycle of life. It was neuter. Neither male nor female. It was the cycle of life. Water comes out of the oceans, goes up into the clouds, comes down as rain, flows in the river, and goes back into the oceans. Taoism points that out. Taoism is attributed to about 600 BC. It was in use then. Lao Tse wrote it down and is attributed to being the person, but the philosophy of what he knows predates him. Okay? It was already around. Yogic knowledge predates that by several thousand years. Okay? So, water is not life all total. It is life in arid situations on this planet. It is, yes, 98% water in your body. But there is very little difference between this physical body and a woman's physical body in that sense. So, yeah. Women run around saying, oh, we're so special, we have to be treated as equals. Is a fallacy. Just as much as men going, oh, it's a man-dominated world, and we're the ones that have to be in charge, or everything's fucked up. Well, problem is that both sides are playing the divide and conquer because it keeps the money coming in. It keeps the party going. It keeps the wars going. Or as I like to put it these days, it keeps you in the next game, the next inning, next season. We're going to come back with a better team. We're going to buy ourselves a better quarterback or a better pitcher or a better hitter. It's a game to you folks, and you don't recognize it. You don't look behind it. You don't care. It's a sales pitch to yourselves, and it's all false imaging. Because you are creating the image that has literally annihilated to the point of extinction the surface of your planet.